Come on, lift those hands in the air. Come on, lift those hands in the air. Receive my Come on, clap your hands and give the Lord praise. The name of Jesus. Praise the name of Jesus. What you say? He's my rock. He's mine. He's my fortress. He's my deliverer. In him will I trust. Praise, praise the name of Jesus. Come on, can we lift it up? Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for morning coffee. If you drink coffee, get your coffee, guys, and drink some coffee with us this morning. I am here with my co-host, Jeray. Good morning, Jeray.
Good morning, Andre. How are you?
I am fantastic, so fantastic off of the heels of last night's Sunday night power charge. What a powerful, informative evening that we had last night. So, how you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling refreshed. I'm feeling motivated. And last night's show was really, really good. It went really well.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I'm very happy to have you on board.
Good to be here.
All right, guys, just giving people time to come on in. Leave a comment, guys. Say good morning to us, please. Come on. Tell us good morning. We like communication here on Black News Undisputed. All right, we like communication. Let's communicate with each other. Good morning. Where you watching from? How was your weekend? All right, let us know. Just let this song just speak to you right now.
I thought you were about to sing it. One day.
Good morning, everybody. We're about to get into this. But how many of you know that he's my rock? He's my fortress, he's my deliverer. Yes, he is. Share this video with your friends and family. We'd really appreciate it. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Morning Coffee Podcast. We have two things that we're going to dive in today, guys. But first, let's cue the intro.
Are you ready for the Morning Coffee Podcast? Well, I am Wakanda Forever! Every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Only on Facebook's Black News Undisputed and Facebook Watch.
No justice! No justice! No justice! No justice! Thank you, God.
He says the commercial is playing?
Nope, but they can hear us now. They can hear us now. We are in the shot now. But no,
Okay.
when the commercial's playing, they can't hear us.
Okay.
It mutes us when we play video footage. That's for only people that understand that, guys, are
Okay.
people that are in broadcasting, you know. So that's a little trick there. It works. Even in the news, when they start playing videos and they're talking to each other, but their mics are muted unless they have a hot mic and then they say something they're not supposed to say, which has happened plenty of times.
All right.
All right, so we are going to get into a couple of stories. All right, so first story that I want to talk about, there's a video that I saw on social media, and this actually was a year ago, but you know, things happen like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and then they come up now. You know, they'll come in your news feed, you know, later on. But there's a
Right.
young man, and I'm gonna play the video for you folks out there watching. This young man, African American boy, teenager, he got into an altercation with a New York City firefighter, and he's being let out in handcuffs, and all of the firefighters are really like having this intimidating grimaces on their face, and it just made me feel some type of way. You know, it's like a young boy, you know, you don't really know what his lifestyle is. You can't judge a book by its cover. You know, for all we know, this kid could be a A student. You know, he said he was trying to protect his friend. Sometimes firefighters, you know, can be known for, you know, being kind of wild. You know, the firefighter was off duty. That's one thing
Mm-hmm.
I want to mention. He was off duty. So this guy could have been drunk, or, you know, he could have been displaying racism. We don't really know too many details. It's not really giving us too many details, but I'm going to just play the video just for the audience so that you guys can see. And then once it's done, then we'll come back. So here's the video. All right, so the video's playing, and I'm going to.
You do it.
If you look at how, okay, listen to this.
He attacked my friend, and I had to defend my friend. He actually pushed my friend to the ground, and I had to defend my friend.
So let me pause this video for a minute. So he's saying that he had to defend his friend. Okay, that's understandable. We don't really know what happened. This is a isolated incident where there was no cameras. We don't know what really happened. All we can go by is what the firefighter said. So continue to watch this. I want you to watch on all the firefighters' faces. Now I'm pausing it again. Look at the white firefighters. Some have their hands in their pocket. The one all the way to the far left, he has his arms folded. If you look at the African American firefighter, watch him and you're gonna notice that to me, he looks a little disturbed, like saddened, like, you know, like, wow, man, this kid could have been my son. You know, but everybody else kind of has like that intimidating, like they're, you know, like they're trying to intimidate him when they don't really know even what happened. And that's what bothers me about this story. So that's why I felt it was necessary to just bring this up. You know, that there's so many times when, you know, white folk, they want to intimidate us, and that's what they do with these Karens, these so-called Karens. You know, so I'm gonna come off the video now. There's not really much to see, but you know, Jere, that's the thing. They try to intimidate us, and when you see all these videos with these Karens that are coming up trying to intimidate black folk, you know, not letting people into where they live, or if they're, you know, they're just bothering people. You're not letting them in the store. Delivery drive. See so many videos of delivery drivers driving into a gated community that is predominantly white, and they see a African American delivery driver. Obviously he's a delivery driver, so he must belong there. It's just, it's intimidation, and this goes all the way back to slavery. They were intimidating us, and they're still trying to do it to this day. They just can't be as blatant, but they might as well be as blatant as they was. And I sometimes I feel like if they could just, if they were allowed to whip us and assault us without being, when they know they could get away with it, they might do that too.
Well, that's what they're doing today on camera. So it's not like, it's not being filmed. But I want to just touch on some things what I did notice in the video. Like, it was kind of like you said, provoking the young man. Like, if you would take in mind what he had to go through, like, he knew what he was putting at risk to be there for his friend. But we also have to look at he's young and he's very impressionable. Not giving an excuse for what he did, but like you said, the other African American male that was a firefighter, he did look at this and say, you know what, I'm not going to pose a threat just by making a stance like the other firefighters, because what if the person would have been a Caucasian young male, and it would have been a whole host of African American firefighters that would have been like, okay, well, what's going on? They would have immediately the police would have immediately made them, disperse away from the Caucasian young man. So in times like this, we have to really look at it like the race card was being played in that instance, because the demeanor that was on their faces was just like, if I can take you in the back of the room and just really hit you where it hurts, I would. And so it just kind of makes me think like lives are not the same when it comes to color. Like we know that. We know that from the times of our ancestors had to be, kidnapped over into this land. Like things weren't always all good, and we're still trying to come to a place of, equality for everything. Like we want to make sure that our children are making it home when they're getting arrested for, certain things. Just like when a Caucasian male is arrested, they immediately get a phone call, a mail. I remember I was reading a story some years back about the young man that had went into the church in the South and shot up those 9 members of the church that were praying. They made sure they handcuffed him and also got him a meal. Can you?
I was thinking that same thing. I wanted to say that. Oh my God.
Can you recount how many times that a young black male has went into anywhere and just shot up somewhere? I'll wait.
I would say zilch, zero,
Yeah.
nada.
And so when young black males commit crimes that doesn't even have to do anything with the order of death or robbery, it's just like they already have the death sentence over their head just because they did something to a civilian that was off duty, a civilian that is supposed to uphold, a firefighter. So he should have had the man that wears that badge. He should have had enough maturity to say, hey, even though you're putting your hands on me, you did this, I want to understand where you're coming from with this. I want to know my faults instead of saying, oh, I'm going to call the police on you. Like, you have to have a maturity and a mindset to say something is not right. I mean, maybe if we look at it from that point of view, then we can get somewhere in the conversation to say, we need to be unified in our communication and not see race. But when will we ever make it there is the question.
We have to make it there. We really have to. My children have only started learning about race, and I've had to literally talk to them about it in the wake of the George Floyd shooting, because it's all over the news. It's all you're hearing. So it's like my children have white friends. Growing up, I grew up in the hood. No white people in my neighborhood. So I grew up around black people.
Yeah.
All my teachers were white. Most of them. There were some black teachers, but I had white teachers, but I never thought anything of them, whether they were racist or not. But I didn't think anything of race, and I didn't grow up learning about race either, and I didn't want my children to grow up learning about white people are bad, or that white people think black people are no good or anything like that. I never wanted that to be. Of course they would learn it as they get older, but I just feel like sometimes children when they're at a young age, it's not something they should really know at this time. They have other things to worry about, but in this time they need to know, because Tamir Rice, a young boy, shot and killed. That's why I don't let my son, I have my nephew TJ, when I say, hey, no toy guns. I don't even want to buy the toy gun, because you never know. And where I live, I have a neighbor, and she is a piece of work. She's an old white lady, and she's always picking a fight, always has something to say. And my son could be out there playing with a toy gun, water gun or whatever, and she want to call the cops. I can't take that risk. I don't even buy it. And if someone buys a toy gun for my kid, I say, hey, nope, no thank you, sorry, can't do it. It's not worth their life.
Yeah, that's a sad world to live in, because I can remember growing up in Los Angeles where, you used to have like the super soakers, like back in the summertime.
Yeah.
Those are really dangerous to play with nowadays for even adults, because you have racist people that are looking for an excuse to gun you down. They can say, well, I thought, my life was in danger, or I thought it was real. How would you think something that is plastic, first of all, with a barrel that looks lime green with a trace of orange and something
Yeah.
that looks unreal, how would you think that that looks real and your life is in danger?
Right, right.
I want somebody to explain that to me, because it goes back to where they're trying to really, if you really want to be honest, they really are trying to just take our race off the map. They love our culture, they love our music, they love our food, but they don't love us as a
Yeah.
people.
And
So,
that makes no sense. That's like an oxymoron. How can you love the idea of something and then you want to destroy the same idea of it? If you destroy
that
all of us, if we're all gone, you cannot mimic, you cannot have a recreation like Jay-Z. You cannot recreate Jay-Z, okay? He's the only one. Beyonce, you cannot recreate Beyonce. You have Taylor Swift or Kelly Clarkson. Not that I'm not saying they're racist. I'm just saying because they're white. You can't. That Beyonce's irreplaceable. Michael Jackson, irreplaceable. Prince, even though they're gone, they're irreplaceable. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like these people are irreplaceable, and you can't. You may have talented people that are just as good. Basketball players, African Americans dominate in sports.
come on. Yeah, we are.
Hockey's like the only one because black people don't really play hockey like that. You probably have a couple hockey players in the NHL, but it's not. Black people don't really want to be playing on the ice anyway.
Yeah, 'cause
But
that's the only sport where you can really beat somebody.
that too. That's probably they probably don't want no black people in there fighting because they can.
You can literally take what you are using as a sport, and if you're angry, you can literally lift it up and conk somebody in the head.
Yeah.
That's demented. That's really crazy.
And of course, if there's black people, if there was more black people, they would be finding those black people, and then we have another problem. They're like, "Oh, you didn't find the white guy, so you didn't find Wayne Gretzky, so why are you finding Deshaun?
Right.
You get finding him $20,000, and
Right.
and then Wayne Gretzky did the same thing, and you didn't find him at all.
Yeah. And Kiki and them over there in the crowd, like, what's going on? I don't understand. Why you got, the Caucasian women over there? Oh well, he didn't have enough blood, so we can't justify him hitting you.
Yeah.
But you hit him, but there was no blood, so we just need to take you off the ice.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
favoritism and racism.
Yep. Any excuse to keep us down. There was a picture. I wish I had this picture. There was a picture that I saw. It has basically a picture of African Americans in the jail, and it's like the jail system is another form of oppression. It's another form of slavery, basically, because when you could put someone in jail for smoking weed, and marijuana is legal now. In most states, it's legal. It's a legal medical medically prescribed. So people are in jail for 10, 15, 20 years for smoking or selling it. It's like, come on, that's ridiculous. It's not right. It's
Right?
craziness. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? First time offenders, they've done something so minor. That shouldn't even be a crime. But that's the world we live in. It's
That's true.
sad.
That's true. And what was I about to say? I kind of lost my thought a little bit.
Hmm.
And that's rare. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about the jail system and how it wasn't even meant to be how it is right now. Jail system, how it got started back in the slavery times, it was
Hmm.
meant to still house just things. When the bill was passed, and signed over that slavery was over, then they had to get another way to entrap us, to say, okay, well, we're animals, because they couldn't deal with the dialect of if we wanted revenge, if we wanted to kill you or not, because of how you treated our people. But we never even went that far, even in today. All we're asking for is equality. All we're asking for is for lives to matter. All we're asking for is to be treated, as a person,
Right,
instead of
right.
treated as an animal. Because if you take away the black culture, you're taking everything from around the world that is beautiful. Because look at America. If you really want to go back to the history, Indians and the Pilgrims, what were they? They were black.
Yep.
They were black. So if you take everything that was built off of, if you want to get rid of us, give us back our stuff. Give us back everything that we built. And then y'all need to go back to where y'all come from, just so you guys tell us to always go back to our homeland. So, I mean, if the dialect is open, then we need to really be comfortable and say, hey, you wasn't birthed here. When y'all birthed in like England or something or somewhere over there. So if you guys really want to be politically correct, because it's not being racist, because they always open up the gates to say, that we're monkeys or to take ourselves back to Africa, but you guys didn't even originate from this land. So, I mean, y'all get y'all tickets first, and then maybe we'll go back too. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And something that I always think about, I say, so from the beginning, when Christopher Columbus discovered, and that's another thing, they teach us what they want us to know. I remember being in elementary school learning about Christopher Columbus, and he discovered America. Wow, cool. He's such a hero. Come to find out, this guy is a murderer, and he is evil, pure evil, and it's like, what really made white people think back then that they could do that? But it was a power play. There was more of them. It was, I guess they said, you know what, if it's only a little bit of them and we want to take this, and they did it, and then they enslaved us, and they just kept it going. But it's like, I don't know what really made them think. How could you really be in your right mind? Okay, how can you literally be in your right mind and think that, oh, I'm white, my skin is white, okay, my skin is white, and actually, so this part of my skin is white, my hand, but how can you think that your skin color makes you better? That makes no sense. Because guess what? Inside, our blood is all the same color. You understand? Our skin color is all the same. If I bleed red. You bleed red. If Donald Trump bleeds, he's gonna bleed red. Okay?
That's true.
So who gives these people the audacity? Who gave them the audacity to think that your skin color makes you better than me? It's insane. It's literally, and if you really think hard on it, it's crazy. And don't let me go on them using the Bible to make people, make the slaves feel bad, twisting the word of God, those scriptures that say obey your master and all that stuff, or you're gonna go to hell. It's a mind thing, and that's why African Americans, that's why we're dealing with all of these mental health issues, because our minds have been designed, and our minds have been sabotaged for so many years. It's just like spanking. I don't spank my kids. Okay, now I have a little joke that I run with my kids when I say, hey, stop that, or I'm gonna tear your tail. But I don't really tear their tail. I just make, it's like my own little, that's like my little tagline. So when they're older, they can remember that. Daddy used to say he's gonna tear your tail. But I used to get whooping. I used to get whooping with a switch. And my mother, yeah,
that must hurt.
yeah, oh yeah, that make you remember. That make you remember for real. But it's like I got whipping with a switch. And I could imagine that when my mother was a child, she got whipped with a switch, and then her mother probably got whipped with a switch, or probably was a slave, or her descendants, were slaves, so they got whipped. That's how that was the punishment, and that all happened from the oppressor. So then we do it to our children, when we really shouldn't be punishing our children with whipping them. Now, of course, sometimes you gotta, sometimes you feel like you gotta put hands, like you may have a teenage boy and he might be smelling himself, and you're like, hey, you acting up, you gotta drape him up a little bit, but it's still embedded in our mind, So, I'm passionate about this. It's like, it makes me really like, sometimes.
Right. I can remember being 8 years old, and my father, for some reason, he set me down at this age, and I think I had like maybe a history lesson. I was in a third grade or so, And he was all like, "Don't bring that into our home. Like, you're gonna learn the real history." And he was adamant and passionate us learning the real history behind the culture, behind what our ancestors went through. And I can remember every time, because I'm the baby, my dad only whooped me one time because everybody used to always snitch on me and say, well, Jeray is getting, over on everything. I mean, I'm the baby. So, that was just my position. You did something wrong, I snitched on you, or, I played my part. And so I was just like, I guess the jewel in my dad's heart because I was the baby. And although he did love everybody, but I was just the baby girl. Long story short, when I got on punishment and everybody else, he set us down and made us watch Roots, made us watch Queens, made us watch Shaka Zulu and everything. And I would be like, I don't want to watch this. Like, this is so devastating. He said, you're going to learn what happened. And if we fell asleep, we watched it over again. He wanted us to actually know the culture. We had to really, we were sitting down writing different essays and everything. Like, it wasn't no you're about to go here or go there. He actually taught us what he knew. He taught us different things so that when we grew up, we wouldn't be, just escaping the reality of, oh, I didn't know what happened, so I don't have no knowledge. No, he rooted in us principles of the actualities of what happened. So I'm thankful for that because can't nobody come up to me and say, this is your history. When I was really taught my true history, I didn't learn it by the books of the school.
Yeah. The books of the school are all lies.
They
all
are.
Lies. Even the statues, now they're taking down all these statues, because these are Confederate statues. These are people that own slaves. Even George Washington, they say he's the greatest president, but he had slaves.
Yes, and so I'm glad that you spoke on the Confederate flag. So I was watching maybe 2 months ago. We were at a Black Lives Matter rally, and we were in downtown Jackson, Mississippi. We were in front of the mayor's, mansion, and he was supposed to be there. He cowered out. He did not come, and we were 5,000 deep. We were marching, and I have graphics and footage and video of all that. I'll give to you so you can see it. But it was just at a time to where people are tired. People are tired of just actually seeing stuff. And why do we have to rally together as a people when our kind is being murdered? But then they want to say that we're taking it personal. Then you have Caucasian people that's saying we're the enemy. How? When you guys are reaping still the benefits of our ancestors' hands. You guys don't want to pay us equally for something that we are qualified to have equal pay on. You don't want to give us better health care when we deserve this. And it's racism on all spectrums. Like in the healthcare facilities, Black women and Black men are not being, properly treated. We can have simple things that are wrong with us, and they'll put us on medication. That's why I don't take medication.
Right.
If I have a headache, I'll let it subside on its own. Like I'll go. If I have a migraine, I'm not taking anything because you never know what they are really putting inside of these pills. They can call Allegra allergy, pill or whatever, and then you have these side after effects. Heart disease. You can contain heart disease, heart failure. If I have an allergy, how come I have to have side effects that comes with the medication to keep me strung out on taking whatever? So we have to wake up our minds. There's natural cures out here that you can buy at a produce store that you don't have to be on medication to be healed. If we really want to talk about what marijuana really is, marijuana was never meant to be smoked. It was meant to heal the body. It was meant to be boiled. It was meant to be, as a healer of the body, not to smoke it.
Right.
So if we really do our research, we would know what the tree was actually meant for, instead of them adding all these powerful things to it so it can enhance the smoker's, way of life.
Yeah. Yep. And what was I gonna say? I was gonna say that, what I'm saying, it's about money. It's a money thing. If they can keep you sick, the doctors can continue to get paid, pharmaceuticals can get paid, and the rich can get richer. and the
And the
rich can get,
poor
and
get poor.
the poor get poor. You know what I'm saying? The pharmaceuticals and the doctors, they work hand in hand. They make deals. You know what I'm saying? They make deals with each other. They say, all right, so we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna take these people for all their money. And that's what they've been
Yes,
doing for years.
that
And nobody's really people. There's people investigating it, but who really has the power to say, hey, I don't even think the president. And I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about a real president like Obama. I don't even think he could have really said, okay, listen, pharmaceuticals and doctors, y'all can't do this no more. You know what I'm saying? In Canada, they have healthcare is free. Why in the United States? Why isn't healthcare free in the United States? This is supposed to be the land of the free, right? Everybody comes here for freedom, for a new way of life. Healthcare should be free here of all places in the world, but it's
hmm
not, and that's a big problem.
That's true because Canada and Paris, because that's where I was gonna move to, maybe a couple of years ago. I was doing my research because I was so tired of, the circumstances in the United States. Like, you got to do so much just to live well. You got to do so much just to be accepted here. You go over there, everyone pay for you. Like, if I was going to go to school in Paris, you have free room and board. All you have to do is pay into the pool of medical. Just like Canada, I wanted to move there. I was doing all my research because I was just like, when you think about being an American, you're not really an American.
Right.
You're just a number. And once they're done with you, once they're done sucking the life out of you and your talent, then you're no more you. So it's just like, they'll take like an achieved African American person, they'll put them up on a pedestal for their own, benefit. And once they get everything that they need out of them, they're done. It's over. But getting back like to the government, because I wanted to press upon some things that you said, like
Mm-hmm.
the actual president, yeah, he doesn't run anything. That is just a face of what they chose. There's somebody that we will never see. That's a true president, the true government that is playing the puppet master with the person that actually that we see, like Trump. He doesn't. Why do you think he does all these dumb things? He tries to send messages, and I want to wake some people up. Although Trump does do ignorant, stupid things, he was put in office for a reason. They put him in office for a reason, not justifying what he's doing, but he's a complete moron and idiot. Nobody in their right mind will be able to say that, oh, he's making, good judgments. And I'm just going to speak my piece because we always want to say, respect the president. But what is he doing to respect us? We always tell to be, respect the ones that have authority over you. But he told people even on Twitter, okay, so if you go do thuggish things, then that's when the bullets and everything is going to. I'm just paraphrasing. And then they let that stay up on there. So it's just like, although I don't agree with the riots and everything, because I think we are not supposed to tear up our own. But when people are feeling pain, they don't know nothing else to do. That's just their way of saying I'm hurt. Instead of them coming to a themselves and saying, you know what, we need to sit down and rationalize how to speak up for ourselves as black people. So look at it like we're trying to be violent, or they look at it like we're trying to be disruptive. No, we're tired of seeing people on the news that look like us being killed, like Mr. Floyd. He was saying, I can't breathe, regardless if you thought he had counterfeit money. That was, you cannot justify to me and say what you did by having your knee on his justifiable. He cooperated. He got out of his car. He said it was hot. He told you everything that was bothering him. And just like the dummy that you are, you set your knee on his neck to his last breath. And then you guys his body off to the ambulance. I mean, you guys couldn't even resuscitate him. And he was calling for his mom. And then just to find out, it's really heartbreaking to find out weeks later in the news, his mom was not even living. She passed away 2 years before this. So now his daughter is without a father. Now the mother.
Oop, think we lost you, Jure. All right, hold on, folks. I think we lost Jure. I think we lost her
His
feed.
child is having to co-parenting. So I think Okay, there you are.
Oh yeah. I think we lost you for a minute, but you're back now.
Okay. So yeah, I was just saying it's just a sad situation.
Yeah, it is. It is. So Trump said, in quote, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. That was what he said. Um, and he's also said things like, he could go outside and shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and his numbers would still go up.
He said that?
Yes,
Oh,
he said
wow.
that. He said that years ago when he first got elected. I don't know, but
Wow.
so just to piggyback off of some of the things you were just saying, right?
Hmm.
And then we can move on to the next story. But there's a show on Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is the man, and I thank God for Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry has a show called The Oval. Not sure. Do you watch that?
No.
Okay, you have to.
I barely watch TV.
All right, well, you have to watch The Oval just to understand everything you just said about government and the president being a puppet. The Oval is that, okay? That is the Oval. The president and his wife are puppets to hire people, okay? And that the whole show is based around that. It's an awesome show. Um, check it out. All right, but yeah, we're living in perilous times. We're living in dangerous times, and you know we have to be ready for when God is coming back, because it's like hell is on earth right now. So who wants to? I know Shirley Caesar said it in one of her songs. She said it in a song with Kurt Franklin. Caught up to meet him in that concert, and she said, "Why would I want to live in hell and then die and go to hell?"
Exactly. And I want to touch on a quote. Like in the Bible, it says, I can't recall the scripture or the book right now. It'll come to me. It says, "The violent suffer it violence, and the violent take it
Take
by
it by
force."
force. Yep.
So I want to just, have a disclaimer up. A lot of times in the body of Christ, we
Hmm.
tend to like not speak on certain matters when it comes to racism, when it comes to, the movement of Black Lives Matter, because some people feel like that's taken away from the faith, or that's taken away from a Christian, or that's taken away from being a believer. It's not. What God is saying is, I mean, we have to be radical, but radical in a justifiable way. We can't go out here and get guns. We can't go out here, and start shooting up people just because we see one of our people getting shot. We have to really set a standard, but we do have to raise our voices about what matters. So speaking on injustices, speaking about racism, it doesn't make you less of a believer. So I just want to put that out there for the people that are thinking, well, I want to speak on
Yep.
this, but I don't want to be looked at like I'm being mocked, or like I'm being, discounted as my love for God. It doesn't take away from your love. It doesn't take away from your relationship with God, because when Jesus was here, what did he say? We're supposed to love one another. So things have to be set in order. So if I won't do it, and Andre won't do it, and you won't do it, then who? Who will raise up as the next leader of this generation to say this needs to stop? Who is going to build the bridge of communication between the white people and the Black people? Somebody has to be that leader. So I just wanted to, put that out there. You're no less than a lover of God. You're no less than a believer if you choose to speak on issues that matter in your community, because that's a pit of hell. People will tell you, "Oh, don't speak about that because it's going to discount you." It won't. I promise you, it won't. God will not love you any less. You will not get marked out of the book of the. Your name will not be taken out of the Lamb's book of life. It won't. So I just wanted to put that out there because so many questions are surrounding. Well, I can't do this because I'm a Christian and I don't want to be stained. You will not be stained. So get that out your head. You got to expand your thoughts to know, who you are. If you are stuck in this box of what religion teaches you, you're gonna be stuck forever. So open up your mind and just allow, God to shift you in different ways, because it says in God's word, we're supposed to take over the political arena too.
Hmm.
But we need to start doing our homework. We need 2 and 8. We need to start eating the whole roll instead of just trying to dissect what we think we need.
Yeah. You hear that, folks? We gotta take heed. We have to take heed to what the Bible has been saying to us, and we have to we have to. It's we want it to get better, and we are farther than we've been, but
Mhm.
we still have a long way to go.
We do.
Long way. Black African Americans are still being killed 2020. We still have a long way to go. Other things I want to talk about, and we'll talk about this on another show. Boycotting. I feel really strong about boycotting,
Mhm.
but I feel like, well, I'm saying we're talking about it now. Boycotting, I feel like can work, but you have to have more than one participant. I can't say I'm gonna go boycott Walmart by myself. I need 100,000 people in my community to say, all right, yeah, we're gonna boycott Walmart. If every African American in New York City, literally, if someone made a Facebook page that said New York City Black or whatever African American NYC, and every African American joined, you get at least 100,000 people in there, and those 100,000 people say we're not gonna shop at Walmart, they're gonna feel it.
Mhm.
And then that's when you say, hey, we're not going to shop at Walmart until you start, you do better, until you do this, you do that. Because just like the pharmaceuticals work together, the pharmaceuticals companies and the doctors work together, these big store corporations, they work with the government too. Everybody, they all work together. They're all connected in some way. You may not know exactly how they're connected, but there's always a connection. Selling guns at Walmart. I'm all for them taking those guns off the shelf. Of course, some people will say, well, they can get guns from other places, so it doesn't matter. But at least they can't buy guns from there. And yes, some people want to hunt.
Mhm.
Some people, okay, they'll say, well, I'm a hunter, so I need my gun. No, you shouldn't be selling guns. You know what I'm saying? And it's easier to get a gun than a driver's license, which is
That's
crazy.
And I think they should start really implementing tracking devices inside of guns that are
Yes, they.
undetected. That,
Yeah,
if
yes.
they started putting tracking devices inside of guns where the average person cannot, take the gun apart and take the, sensor out,
Hmm.
because, so many people die by the hands of gun violence, and then they try to blame it on the black person. So if that gun has a sensor and it has like a registration in it that cannot be found, then you would know where it is, what GPS route it took, and where the true killer is, instead of blaming a black person.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Yep, but they love to blame us. They love
Mm.
to make us the poster children for violence and being angry and awful, and they love to talk about black on black crime. Well, they're killing them anyway. They're killing your people anyway. But we have to do better.
We do. We really do.
And if just one person decides they're going to do better, and then the next person decides they're going to do better, and the next person educates themselves, if we just keep all doing it together, we'll have a better place. And then
Mm.
for the African Americans that have white friends, challenge your white friends. I'm happy to see that there are, white people that are out there protesting alongside, but I don't think that's enough because they still don't really understand they still have their white privilege, regardless. You can be white and you can protest with me all you want, but at the end of the day, you have your white privilege. So use your white privilege to do good. I challenge the Caucasians out there. I challenge you. If you have friends that are African American, use your white privilege and help the situation. Don't just be out there for just to say I'm out there, because some of them are out there just to say they're out there, or a lot of them are out there because, well, they're not working, we're in the pandemic, they just want something to do. So that's just the reality of it. Sad to say, but that's where we're at.
Hmm.
Yeah. So next story. Tell us about that next story with these two people that got arrested.
Okay, so there's a Florida couple, um, and they got arrested because they got tested for positive for COVID-19, and they were still doing things that they weren't to do, like average stuff, washing their clothes, going grocery shopping, washing their clothes, but they were supposed to be quarantined. And with that, you were supposed to stay in the house for a certain period of time until you are, free from that. Until you're cured, until they come up with a solution. And they weren't like they were just, spreading that and, knowingly going places where they know that they can affect other people. So in turn, they got arrested. And I feel as though like they got what they needed to get done because like you're putting other people's life at risk. You're putting people's freedom at jeopardy because this virus is serious. It's not something to play with. It's just like if you know you have COVID-19 and you were told by your healthcare provider to stay in quarantine, you can order stuff online still. You can still do the average stuff. You don't need to go wash your car. You don't need to go personally grocery shopping. Use Amazon. Use different tactics to, still, feel like you can do things for yourself, but you don't have to go out and, kind of like put people, not kind of, but put people's life at risk just because you feel like you don't want to stay out. So that's the gist of that story. But, we can open it up more if you have anything to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I really have to say about it is that, okay, so I'm gonna put these guys' pictures back on. I had to put that on, the picture on the screen. Okay, so we have and um Jose Antonio, and then you have Johanna Gonzalez. Okay,
Hmm.
obviously by the last names they are Hispanic. Okay, and the
Right.
reason I brought up this story is because they're Hispanic. And here at Black News Undisputed, we're not just for the African American community, but we are for the Hispanic American community as well. And as I tell young black men, don't give the police a reason. Don't give white folk a reason. You know what I'm saying? Don't give them a reason. I understand sometimes that they'll pick on you. Like my neighbor, she just picks on me and just picks. She's an old miserable lady, but she just picks and picks and picks for no reason. And I don't give her a reason. Don't give people a reason. You're Hispanic. They're going to put you in jail. Now, if this was a white couple, would they have arrested them?
Absolutely not.
I don't think so. But who knows? I'll play devil's advocate. Maybe not, but no, they wouldn't have been arrested. Okay? Black person, they definitely would have arrested, for doing the same thing. I'm sure, there's plenty of people that have COVID that don't even know, and they're out there spreading it like wildfire. Okay?
Mhm.
So, all I'm saying is, don't give people something to talk about. Stay
Yeah.
low, stay low, mind your business. And if you are sick and you have COVID, you have no business doing anything like that. Quarantine at least for the 14 days, and then make sure you're good, and then they're not wearing masks or anything. So yeah, I guess they got what they deserve. So that was I just wanted to highlight that. Please wear your mask, people.
Mhm.
This thing is no joke. As I said yesterday, Herman Cain went to the Trump rally and he's dead now. And Herman Cain is smarter than Donald Trump. Herman Cain was more qualified to be the president than Donald Trump, but he decided that he wanted to be a puppet for the Trump campaign. And now he's gone. He gave his life. So what more can we say? What more can we say, ladies and gentlemen? So before we go, we're just gonna play this video real quick. If you need financial advice, if you need financial help, if you need financial coaching, check out Dr. Lynn Richardson. And here is the video.
I'm financial expert Lynn Richardson. You may have seen me on Good Morning America giving financial advice. When you get my freedom package, you get the 21 days to financial freedom and how to start a home-based business. See you in class.
All right, so that was Dr. Lynn Richardson. She's awesome. You can check her out. Google her. All right, Google her. She's not a sponsor of this show, but I believe that she's doing a great work in trying to finance and help African Americans. She helps anybody, actually. It's not just African Americans, but she's African American, so I like to support my people. So, check her out. She's very qualified. She's well overqualified if you need financial coaching. That's something that we deal with in the African American community, is dealing with our finance. I'm not good with my finance either. I'll admit it. I'm working on it. And as time goes by, I know I will get there. So, gotta know how to finance all those $1 million, that $1 billion empire. So, that's why I'm looking for Black News Undisputed to get to, That's
You
the
better
goal.
speak life, Andre. You better speak.
Yeah, you gotta, yes, it has to go somewhere,
Yeah.
And it's not started for the money. I'm not getting paid to do this, but there's a reason I'm doing it, and you have to go up. You can't stay stagnant. You can't stay in the same place forever. So it can only go up. So we're gonna stay consistent, and we're just gonna keep on pushing, and we're gonna keep on pushing content out. If you guys have any stories, please you can email us at blacknewsundisputed@gmail.com, okay? Or you can inbox on facebook.com/blacknewsundisputed, okay? If you are a woman and you have any issues, if you have if you're dealing with any issues, that if you've gone through something in life and you want someone that you can trust that can counsel you, please mend the vow, okay? facebook.com/mend the vow. You can contact Jeray and she will be a blessing to your life. All right, so please do that. You have anything else that you wanna add?
Yeah,
Anything you wanna
I
plug?
wanted to plug in your new baby, because it goes hand in hand with this outlet, Black Lives in America Catching Hell. Also, if people go to the website, they can also upload stories and you can approve them. Like, you can feature them here, and also you can approve them on the website. So kind of start saying that for your news section too. I know we're still on air, but I'm just saying that's a good way for them to post, so that way you can get stories from around the world.
Right.
So if you guys go to blackinamericacatchinghell.com, you guys can submit stories from around the world, whether it's, for better pay, for injustices, anything that you can think of that will let us know how your day is going. If you want to just say hello, go there and you can submit a story. Go there and reshare blogs. Go there and just support and follow and spread the word about that new platform for Andre.
Yes, please. Black in America Catching Hell. We will have more graphics for that on our next program, and we're going to expound on that. Well, I think we should actually do a whole show on that. So we'll actually do that. We'll have a whole show on Black in America Catching Hell, and just so we can get that information out to the viewers.
Yes, and we also have shirts and other things that's going on, that's going to come through. So might have a giveaway or so.
Yeah, and it's a great movement. It's a great movement. I just I just took it over. We've taken it over. So it's a part of Black News Undisputed now, and we're gonna get everything together for you guys, because we really want feedback. We want support from the viewers. We need your support. Okay, we really need your support. And on a future program, we will talk about how you guys can partner with us, because it be honest, it takes money to do what we're doing. It's not cheap. The live streaming equipment costs money. The live stream software, it's not free. It costs money. And I'm not getting paid. I'm not asking nobody to pay me. But if you want to partner with us so we can continue to do a greater work, then yes, we need financial support. All right. So we'll have all of those options available with the Cash App and all of that. I'm not even going to put the Cash App up right now. We'll do that on another program. And if you're led to, whether you want to give $1, $5, whatever you want to give, it doesn't matter. There's no set amount. But your donations help. All right. And we thank you, and please share this content. If you don't do anything else, even if you don't give us the money, even if you don't want to donate, share. That's enough. Share. All right, and tell people about Black News Undisputed. All right. So, Jeray, as always, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank
for
you.
for co-hosting today, and we will see you. We have the repost coming out. The repost, everybody's pre-recorded. We may have live shows, but for now, that's gonna be pre-recorded. So we're gonna, you know, be recording a lot of content and putting it out there. So, like I said, if you guys have stories, please email us. And if you want to be on the show, email us. If you have something you want to talk about, please, you can email us. We'll have a conversation, tell us the story if we feel like it's something that can uplift and inspire the African American community, or the Hispanic community also. Please let us know, all right? All right, so thanks again, and God bless, and we will see you
God
on the
bless.
next one.
See you
No
on the
ju-
next one, folks.
No justice.
No peace.
See you
Black
later.
lives matter.
Yes,
Brown
they do.
lives matter too. Brown lives matter too.
Yes. All that. You know what? Let me before we just get off this thing, let me just say this one thing, okay?
Nah,
And
nah, 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 nah,
no, I
nah.
have
Black
to.
lives matter. Until
Yes.
Black lives
Yes.
matter, no lives matter.
No. I agree. I'm not arguing with that. Black
Okay, I
lives
was
matter.
gonna say.
What I'm gonna say is that people are upset. There are some people out there that are really upset about Black Lives Matter. But guess what? And let me give you a quick example, audience that are watching at home. If my house is burning right now, okay? My neighbor is upset because the fire department is coming to my house. Why are you upset? She's like, well, my house matters too. Yeah, I know your house matters. Everybody's house matters, but my house is the one that's being burned. So I'm just trying to break it down for the ones that may have a little mental issues, So black people are the ones that are being killed like dogs. We are the ones that are being murdered and beaten and abused on a daily
Yeah.
basis, and nobody's being held accountable. So yes, Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
Okay?
and I wanted to say, like, for the Caucasian people, be thankful that you don't need a movement to say
Right.
anything. Be thankful that you don't need a body count to say I lost another person that looks like me. Be thankful that you don't have to worry about your child wearing a hoodie and then being gunned down. Look at it from another perspective. Perspective is everything.
Yes.
Don't just
Yes.
look at the color. Don't just feel threatened just because you see a person that's 6'2" or 6'6" walking down the street. You have Caucasian white males that are 6'8" and that are not as a form of threat in the world. So start seeing it from a different visual aspect. And then you'll understand our struggle, our journey, and just our way of just wanting to be treated fairly as a people in the society. So, yeah.
Yeah, because and we're at 58 minutes. I'm gonna try to keep this under an hour, but we have white folk that, as we spoke about earlier, that they shoot up schools that have kids in it. Okay, and I have the right as a black man that every time I see a white guy that looks weird, there's plenty of white guys that look really weird sometimes. I have the right to judge them. I have the right to feel like uneasy, but I don't. There's proof that they do this, and nobody's judging them. So why are you judging us? We have to stop judging us for even things that we're not doing just because of our skin color. When you have these guys that are shooting up school, they're doing things that are far worse than the things they try to blame black people for. So we just have to do better. We have to do better, and we're gonna get there one day at a time.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We stayed under an hour.
Goodbye, guys. Until next time. Thank
Yes.
you for catching up with the morning with us and drinking your coffee.
All right, guys. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Are you ready for the Morning Coffee Podcast? Well, I am. Every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Only on Facebook's Black News Undisputed and Facebook Watch.
No justice! No justice! No justice! No justice! Thank you, God.
Are you ready?